So if you've been tossing around the idea of starting or joining a mortgage brokerage in the past few months or maybe even years, you're probably thinking, okay, I have absolutely no idea how to do this running a business thing. I know how to do loans, I know how to originate, but run a business, no. And you're completely valid in thinking that because we're never taught how to run a mortgage business or actually told a lot of things about it. So in this video, I want to give any loan officers or realtors out there just some very valuable tips and guidance on opening and then running a mortgage business, a mortgage brokerage. Hi guys, I'm Megan Marsh from Collab Lending, Collab Brands we'll call it, and we're going to be going over some advice and some tips on running and owning a mortgage brokerage today. So I was in your shoes back, it's been 10 years now. But the difference is I didn't have time to think about a lot of the things that I'm sure you're thinking. I literally got kicked out of the mortgage brokerage I was the top producer at and just had to dive right in. This is a picture of the mortgage brokerage I opened my first 2 years and the files, because we didn't even do digital or electronic papers at the time. And it was from getting picked for my first audit, which I didn't even know we had compliance docs we had to do at the time, that created and moved me along in my journey as a mortgage broker to where I now have a business partner for the last 8 years. And together we took our two independent companies, joined together, created a joint brokerage where we shared resources, and we just kept growing. We had a team of loan officers. We're each closing a couple hundred loans a year, and had a team that worked underneath us to then in 2019 or 20, we had loan officers who started wanting to join us, and we weren't going to be the only loan originators. And we hadn't spent the time on building up our company, our brokerage. We didn't have anything beyond what we knew how to do or directly taught our team. And so growing into this bigger company and team, we really invested a lot of time into figuring out like what you had to do to run a company with other people. And that's why we have started sharing some of this stuff with you. And so the biggest thing I want to do today in this video is we're going to go over this little image picture that I have here to walk you through what are you setting up when you set up a mortgage brokerage? Like, what are you doing? You know loans, like I said, but you have no idea how this other stuff, how it works, and it's freaking you out to the point that I find a lot of people switching over from who haven't owned before, especially in retail. Then you go and instead of opening your own brokerage, you might go to a model that you kind of tested out, but you wish you had done it sooner. So I'm going to be uploading a lot more videos so you can see some of the behind the scenes. And I'm just going to be sharing with you resources and ways that you can get the support that you're looking for, but get in that independent realm of owning your own company and having the control. I'm very passionate about that. Don't do that. If you have a great book of business, there's no magic number for what you close. But have a phone call with us, do a discovery call to see if it's worth looking into. So watch this video to the end, and I'm going to give you some of the resources we've created so that you can start checking it out. So in a mortgage brokerage that you're going to start or open, you're going to have 3 core areas of the business with another, 6, 7, what I like to call impact areas. And I didn't do this the first number of years in my business. I'm going to pull this up on the screen for you guys. When you run a mortgage broker business, in the middle there, you've got 3 circles. That is the core things that run the business. You've got your sales, your loan origination activity that you're doing right now wherever you work. You know how to do that. You're confident in that piece. Maybe you're still nervous because as a broker, you've heard you lose control. I promise you. I'll give you phone numbers of people who worked in retail, went broker, so you can talk to people who have been in your shoes. A lot of people say they feel like they've gained control. And then the second piece, which is what starts, I think, scaring us, is the operations, the back end of the brokerage. And that's things like onboard, that's human resources, the finances, compliance, and licensing. And so you've got all the operations. And then the third bubble here is the pipeline. So how your loans go through the process of application to close. So those are your 3 core areas. What's really nice is it's become a lot more popular now to really, you can outsource your processing or that pipeline piece, which I'd recommend for most new brokers, or to convert, if you have a team and you have a processor, to convert them into an independent processor. It helps you financially have a better bottom line. I like to now break these down. Operations, which is what we're going to go through today, which are these A, B, C, D, E, and F. And I actually have 1 or 2 others. I didn't put them in here. So those are what I call impact areas, which means when you run a business, if you want to do it effectively, you need to spend time every month focusing on the areas that keep the business moving forward, that have to be organized in some fashion. It needs some type of attention. So in a mortgage brokerage, that would be your licensing and compliance is one of our impact areas. So what are the things you need to do for licensing and for compliance to run your business? The second one is finances, bookkeeping, doing things. How do you financially look at the business, make sure that you're making money? How do you make decisions that help you continue to make more money? Then the third area, C, is vendors and wholesale lenders. So this is like the tech you pick, your LOS system, your point of sale system, your CRM. And then in a mortgage brokerage, you have your wholesale lenders. What lenders do you sign up with that you lock and place your customers at to be able to close more loans? Because that's the goal. And then you've got human resources, then marketing, and managing your brokerage. So those are your impact areas. And I stated you could quickly eliminate one of your 3 bubbles here, the pipeline, by using contract processing. In this video, we're going to just really focus on those operational impact areas. So let's go to the next slide I have where I expanded on those impact areas. So this is what starts happening as you really dig in and learn more. So each impact area has these core responsibilities that you have to do. So for licensing and compliance, that's stuff like you have to go through and make sure the company is compliant, that you're doing things that you're supposed to be doing on a monthly and quarterly and annual basis. This was an area, it probably took us 7, 8, 9 years to really figure this out. Then there's your closed file compliance. That's like every time a loan closes, what needs to be in there so that you don't do what I did on my first audit, which was have to literally go back into hundreds of files to pull the documents because I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing or having somebody do. And then you have continuing education, making sure you take the right classes, courses. Then in your finances, stuff like bookkeeping, having goals and key performance indicators to make sure that you're in line or doing a good job managing your business. Then vendors and lenders, like we said, you've got your wholesale lenders, your marketing vendors. There's a whole bunch of different ones that you want to look at. Human resources, you've got benefits, you have payroll, you have hiring and onboarding is part of, this little impact area of running your business. Then you've got marketing, setting up a website, a CRM, making sure you have a logo and a brand. And then last but not least, how do you manage your business? How do you manage this? How do you do all this and then originate loans, right? That's what you're all thinking. You should be thinking this, but there are a lot of answers and there's a great way to do all of these things. So, and if you want rapid success as a mortgage broker, rapid meaning you want to see results in the next 2 to 3 years, you want to make more money, you want to have more freedom, depending on what your priority is, plugging into a roadmap with systems and support is how you're going to get there. Absolutely every single one of you watching this, you could open and build your own brokerage. But just like it took us close to 10 years to figure this stuff out, it will take you that long. And it will take you a lot of, choosing the wrong things, doing the wrong things versus plugging into a system. What you don't want to do is go somewhere where you don't have control, where you don't have ownership and equity, so that one day you're building something that's yours, that you can sell, that you can, step back and still have income coming in. Do not do this if you don't control your company license, or if you are going to be an employee. Definitely have a discovery call first. There are ways to really eliminate a lot of the work that you see on this board here. And I like to call this, I'm going to come back to you guys here. I like to call this mental warfare, because I find that in our industry that we've been brainwashed into thinking that we can't do this, that it's really, really hard. And it is hard. There are parts of it that are hard, but the hard parts aren't getting that stuff done. It's the mindset pieces, which is the mental warfare. It is letting go. I've never done some of the things on that board as an owner. I've never done it. I've never done our licensing. I have someone on my team who does it and who's had to learn it. And, we have systems around there. It's time for loan officers to start realizing just how powerful they are. If you have built a book of business, you can do this. And it's time to just break the belief barrier that we can't do it and that we need to go to a company who's going to do it for us. The battlefield's in your mind, guys. It was in my mind. I didn't want to do it. I even went over to retail 1 year in the last 20 years since being a broker, and it was horrendous. For me, some of you, it might be a great option. It was not fun for me. I hated waiting on things. I hated not being able to make a decision, because if I make a wrong decision, I can live with that. But it's very hard for me when I can't control something that I want to change in my business. So I feel very passionate about this. So if you've built a nice mortgage core business, don't build somebody else's dreams over the next 5, 10, 15 years. At least explore with a discovery call how you can get the support that you need. I'm actually going to share with you here before logging off and before coming in next week with one of our videos. We have a course out now. It is a digital self-paced course. I mean, it is a beast of a course. It's online with videos, workbooks. We teach you how to get your mortgage broker company license, get your mortgage brokerage approved. We have a module all about the tools and resources to pick in your brokerage, another module about the loan process, how to pay your loan officers and processors. There's a marketing module. There's a building a team module. So I'll put the link down below in the description. But this still, you're doing the work yourself. And so because of that, we actually ended up taking all of our systems, all of our templates, drip campaigns, everything. And we ended up launching Collab lendings, franchise option. And the reason, I didn't even really know what a franchise was, but once I realized that my brother, who owns a State Farm agency, why he never had some of the problems I did was because, hey, he had the processes that he got to step into, but he still gets to own the company. That's when we decided this was a great way to help other people do this. The franchise, it not only gives you everything, so you don't have to set it up, but we now have a concierge team you can pay to do it for you. This option is one of the cheapest options out there. I shouldn't say cheapest. It's so valuable. It's less expensive than being an employee. It's less expensive than the amount you pay in those models. And we just launched our broker concierge, which is if, hey, I don't want to do the HR piece, I don't want to have to do some of the financial pieces. We have a team now who is helping brokers do some of these pieces. So make sure you ask about that. I put all these links down in the description. The goal here is I want to have a different conversation with you. If you're a loan officer, if you've built a book of business, you deserve to consider all of your options and then make whatever choice is right for you. But this isn't rocket science, guys. Look at the people you know who have done it. If they can do it, you can do it too. You just need to keep learning more, watching more of these videos. If you have not subscribed to our channel, make sure you go hit that subscribe button, hit the bell, come join us for our next video where we're going to continue to give you more tips about becoming and owning a mortgage brokerage.